Hey sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be taking a look at the top 10 PSA baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1980s for September 2024. Now for this month there are a few familiar cards that made the top 10 list, but there are also a few surprises including several record high sales. So let's get to the top 10. Coming in at number 10, we have this 1980 Topps George Brett in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 17th for $2,900. It was an auction. There were 52 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,632. The record high sale was $4,250 back in November of 2023 through eBay. Now, there have been 1,004 graded copies in a PSA 9. Only 99 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 9, we have this 1984 Topps Traded Tiffany Dwight Gooden in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 12th for $3,000. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $2,253. And this sale here for $3,000 represents a new record high sale for a PSA 10 copy. The previous high was $2,455 back in January of 2022 through eBay. Now, there have been 194 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 43 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 8, we have this 1985 Topps Mark McGwire in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 9th for $3,060. It was an auction. There were 41 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $2,719. The record high sale was $5,000 back in May of 2020 through eBay. There have been over 7,100 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 306 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 7, we have this 1986 Topps Tiffany Nolan Ryan in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 15th for $3,441. It was an auction. There were 33 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $2,636. So this sale at $3,441 represents a new record high sale. The previous high was $2,504 back in June of last year through eBay. Now, there have been 269 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 44 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 6, we have this 1983 Topps Tony Gwynn rookie card in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 15th for $3,606. It was an auction. There were 18 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,418. The record high sale was $4,750 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. There have been 5,866 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 740 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there were two other significant 1983 Topps Tony Gwynn rookie card sales in September, both PSA 10 copies. One sold on September 28th for $3,600, and another sold on September 20th for $3,452. At number 5, we have this 1984 Donruss Don Mattingly rookie card in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 4th. For $3,656. It was an auction. There were 32 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,535. The record high sale was $6,500 back in March of 2021 through eBay. There have been 3,653 copies graded a PSA 9. only 336 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there was one other significant 1984 Donruss Don Mattingly rookie card sale in September. It was another PSA 10 copy. This one sold on September 18th for $3,177. At number 4, we have this 1981 O-Pee-Chee Kurt Gibson rookie card in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 22nd for $5,000. It was an auction. There was only one bid. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $4,437. So this $5,000 sale represents a new record high sale for a PSA 10. The previous high was $3,874 back in August of this year through Golden Auction. Now, there have only been 17 graded a PSA 9. Even a smaller number, 5, have been graded a PSA 10. At number 3, we have this 1982 Topps Traded Cal Ripken Jr. in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 15th for $5,522. It was an auction. There were 36 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $5,441. The record high sale was $20,101 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. There have been 4,447 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 415 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 2, we have this 1980 Topps Darryl Thomas in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 15th for $5,699. It was an auction. There were 18 bids. There's no current VCP average price, as this is the first sale reported of a PSA 10, and this is a newly graded PSA 10 copy. The average VCP price for a PSA 9 is only $34. There have been 24 graded at PSA 9. This is the only PSA 10 graded copy. And for the second month in a row, at number 1 for September, the 1986 Topps Traded Tiffany Barry Bonds in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 18th for $6,200. It was an auction. There were 40 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $5,936. But the record high sale was $16,000, reached twice, both in February of 2021, one a PWCC listing on eBay and another a regular eBay listing. Now, there have been 1,467 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 453 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there were two other significant 86 Topps Traded Tiffany Barry Bond sales in September, both PSA 10 copies. The first one sold on September 15th for $6,157, and the second one sold on September 6th for $6,000. Well, there you go, the top 10 PSA baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1980s for September 2024. As always, would love to know what you think about the cards that made this month's top 10 list. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.